we kind of have been familiar with how movies are made and the revenue model behind movies, but being that plays are such a niche thing, I don't think a lot of people are even familiar with like how that actually works. So is it similar as far as how a movie would be financed and you have to pay actors and then you would hopefully get the money back on the back end through ticket sales, but movies you can actually, streaming and stuff like that. You can't really stream a play, right?
Well, it depends how you wanna do it. I think there's no limit now to what's possible, and there are so many ways to have access to it. So, the theater side is much more niche. I'm learning, obviously. I'm also learning a
Hmm.
new space and a new industry, which is amazing. I think that it's something really wonderful about it. It's new for me, but intentionally we made sure that there were veterans around the process because we want to bring all that new energy. We want to bring that new thought patterns and all of those things. At the same time, there's a tried and true way that things work that you can miss if you don't. And so there's a nice balance between kind of the veterans of the business and also these up and comers, which I consider myself in the world. You know what I mean? And so yeah, so there's definitely, the financial model, just like with any creative endeavor, you know, 90% of the things, are not always going to work. You know what I mean? There's a small amount of things that really do cut through, and there's not going to be 6,000 Rihannas. Just doesn't go like that, So special things take special time, and it just kind of is what it is. So, but yes, there is definitely the flow between the business of it, the raise of it, and then how all of, the way that that all comes back around. And obviously, depending on the length of time and also ancillary things like touring, when these musicals tour, that's also a big thing, and certain musicals are just ready for that.
Hmm.
That's a big part of it. There's other worlds where you might wanna do offshoots like series or films based on. You can do kind of streaming moments. You can
Yeah,
kinda, like, make all of it come
cool.
together, and it all depends on.
Well, it's like
That's great.
Hamilton,
I was just gonna say that
where they went on tour,
they
and
went
then
on
they went to
tour.
London,
Now
and then,
they,
like, even The Lion King, they're on cruise ships,
yeah,
and then merch,
Right.
yeah.
the
It's
merch
a
and
I'm,
stuff like that.
fact.
Hamilton is blasting through my house right now, so like it's on Disney Plus, and so
That's
they had these. So like
amazing.
my daughter listens to that in the shower.
She
I'm
loves
like, come on,
it.
like this is like the eighth song now.
You're
Like
like, "I'm
let's be
done."
conscious about the
You
water.
gotta bring your daughter to
To
Hell's
see it, absolutely,
Kitchen.
absolutely. I mean, it's incredible to watch, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, you've done amazing things in your career, right?
Thank
From
you.
the creative process, obviously, tons of awards. And it goes back to the tickets. What would measure success for this, right? I feel like this is not a passion project. It feels more like a
Mm.
purpose project, right? So
Mm.
we were able to preview it, and we're like, this is incredible. I can't wait for the world to see it. I know you just debuted it last week.
Right.
Is there pressure to
I
see the audience's reaction?
Well, listen, first, I think for anything we create, first you do have to have the reason why. Why are you doing it? Like, what about it is special for you? What about it is meaningful? What about it is missing in the world,
Hmm.
And I think no matter what that is, if you're creating a technology or if you're creating art, there's that connection to it because it's meaningful to you. And I think that is the most important thing. And that's what we've honored the whole time. How do we tell this story? How do we create a story of diversity? So many unique people that are in this world, especially in New York City. How do we see more of them reflected in a pure, true way, in a complex true way, because we're all complex. We're not just one way. There's so many different things. So that was the passion for it. And also, how do we invite people to a space that maybe they don't normally feel like they belong in? That's also a big passion of it. You know, Oftentimes I tell people that I actually created this musical for my husband, for people like my husband, who he's not actually a musical person. That's not his first inclination, or he hasn't been exposed to it in a way that it feels like it reflects what he understands or
Hmm.
what he wants to feel. And so a show like Hell's Kitchen is it's something that it does that. It has that emotional foundation, plus it has the modernness of the way that the music and the storyline is communicated.
Mhm.
You feel like you understand it. You want to get into it. You know people like that. You're reflective, like, yo, what am I? You it's personal. It's
Mhm.
personal. It becomes personal. So, be it the theater goer who loves musical for the past 25 years, or my husband who probably would be like, yeah, babe, let's not go see one of these other things, it's opening the minds and saying, this Broadway space is a place where we belong, where we can create our stories, where we can create unique stories, diverse stories, and we can be here. And so that's what makes it successful.
Mhm.
What makes it successful is that people feel it. You want to create something artistic because you want people to be emotionally touched and affected. You know what I
Okay.
mean? I love that this show makes people laugh, makes people cry, makes people like make funny faces because they can't believe the voices that they hear. I love that
Incredible.
you're
Yeah.
you're you're not gonna leave here not feeling something. And I think that that's the success. And then on top of that, to be able to be the lead producer of this endeavor is a big success. I think again that opens the door and shows that we belong in all these positions. We belong also as the owners of our IPs and the owners of our creativity. We not don't it shouldn't just belong to everybody else. So I think that's a big version of success.
Mhm.
And obviously for generations to feel connected. I think another big part of this, you can be 9, you can be 14, you can be 25, you can be 45, you can be 65, you can be 90, and you can come see this show and you're gonna get it. So
Mhm.
that's a big success too. Like
Yeah.
that intergenerational energy is rare.